You can say, I love you, but you can never entirely explain how much you love. Had to cry a day before, but did it. I associate pole dance with superpower. Oh, it's the easiest part. You just do this and that and flip and then that. We are no longer Homo sapiens, but we are not yet Homo technologicus. And it's either you're overworked or you're without a job. It's something within humans that longs to be accepted. I didn't understand anything. I'm like, but what did you experience? It's my dreamland in here.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Between Times show. And today we have guest Ieva Gaurličikaté Sons, who is choreographer and stenographer and co-owner of Tuvumi Horos, which is
NGO.
an NGO
Yes.
association. Yeah, okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's early morning today in the cafe. And let's maybe start from the very beginning. From when did you start dancing? When did your path started as a choreographer?
Okay, so I think it's two separate questions. I started to dance when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And choreographic. Okay, so maybe choreographic path started a bit later. So when I graduated school, I knew that I wanted to dance. So I started to study contemporary dance and choreography, performance and choreography. So as training as a dancer, and I did my BA in Scotland. Then I graduated. Then I went to do internship with one company in Israel. And then I thought that I want to be a dancer. That's it. I don't want to make anything. I want to be a dancer. And so I had this company life for a while when I had to dance from like 8 till 9 in the evening. And then I realized, maybe, actually, I don't want to dance anymore. But I came to Latvia and I came for one project and I never left. Accidentally got into MA studies in stage design and scenography in Latvia. So I stayed for 2 more years. I graduated and then I still didn't leave. But since I think as a choreographer, on the choreography I started to concentrate more like 2016 from then on. Yeah.
When you came to Latvia 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I still will have some detailed
Yeah,
questions,
sure.
like what was the dance styles you danced in the childhood?
Ballet.
Okay, and show dance maybe? No,
not
just ballet.
Ballet and some sort of modern dance, something of contemporary, but no of street dances, no of nothing groovy.
Okay.
I was a ballet dancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you felt like you want to create your dances and choreograph, like at which age it appeared maybe?
You see, when I'm still a contemporary dance choreographer, yeah, and contemporary dance is a dance what represents a contemporary time or a contemporary need of individual person. So in my case, when I'm making choreographies, I'm not using necessarily any contemporary styles that I know of. Like, it's cool, it's important to know it. It's like if you think of painting, like you think of, you need to learn all the classical ways of doing it. But if you want to be a really cool painter, you don't paint in that style. So you find your own way and your own language. So when I create pieces, I think every choreography has its own language. So I try to build something that I don't know, that I'm not sure of, that I'm usually really shit at. Sorry for language. At the beginning, and I learn, and it takes long time. Usually like 2 years to make one creation.
But like when you started, like when like for example, me as a kid at like 4 years I already was like trying something, and choreographing started maybe at 10, like the
Then
interest to it.
same. Then
Yeah,
same.
same also,
Same,
yeah,
same.
from the childhood
Yeah,
choreographer.
yeah, yeah. Like this naive choreographing dances with like scarves and like anything. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you make your peers make dances like with you? No.
I convinced my dance studio to dance what I wanted, so we all danced. Like we had like, not like, you know how kids little like 3 minutes kind of shows or something like this. So we would have
Yes.
it like, yeah.
That's why I'm asking because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Me and my friend, we were like really into co-working together, so we would convince everyone to do that.
Is she still dancing?
She's an actress.
Oh, okay.
She's really good at dancing, but she's an actress, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you mentioned about the bachelor, yeah, that you learned there. Like, it was already after school you went there, and like after 18 years old already to learn, yeah. Very usually, after graduation, many choreographers and young specialists, they feel like, okay, now I have diploma, now I'm cool in that, I know everything. You already said like it was kind of opposite, even like you didn't want it anymore to exactly choreograph, so it was like a little bit tired of that. But did you feel like now you're a really strong specialist already after BA?
So my degree was mainly concentrating in performance and dancing. So I wanted to dance.
So exactly
So I
dancer.
wanted to dance. We did choreographies, but it was, I would say, like 30% out of a degree it was choreography, and 70 it was training as a dancer. And the question is if I feel like a strong specialist now.
Not now, exactly after
Ah,
graduating.
no. No.
No.
No, like I think more you learn, more you know how much you don't know. So even now, like after like what 10 years of a career and as a professional choreographer and dancer, I'm like, oh dear Lord, like I don't think I'm gonna make it through my lifetime to learn everything I want to learn, and then on the way you're learning, then you realize more things that you should learn or what you're interested at, and it's like, it's a path. It's yeah. It's not necessarily, like when you know a language, like spoken language, then you can express yourself and you can speak and you kind of say, okay, I know this language well. And with dance, it's always like, as like try to learn every single language in the world. It's challenging.
Somehow with you, it's already I have like insights about the dance is exactly the language. We had some conversation before, and now I'm again like dance is language. And I exactly had the idea that when you learn some language for 4 years, for example, yeah, you kind of know it, but you are not fluent and perfect in that. You just like maybe learn the basics, maybe you are good at this, but not like native speaker, maybe. And maybe in 10 years speaking in that language, it's already you feel like more specialist. Yeah. Something else what I wanted to ask is about how you choose the place where you want to study, because you are from Lithuania, yeah, and you learned at Scotland, yeah, like why exactly that place, yeah.
Well, I applied to many schools, but my main requirement also was like that the studies wouldn't cost a lot. And so in Scotland, as for all European Union citizens do not pay for the first degree. So I could get I could learn, don't pay for my studies, which was important for me at that young age. And in the weekends, I could have a job, like. Yeah. So, like, for me, it fitted, and the study program I also liked. So, yeah, that's how I chose it. Very practical.
Cool. And what about going to study in Latvia later?
Well, that was a different choice. It was like we create with my partner. We have this kind of like choreographers duet called Ieva Krisha and Sons, yeah. And somehow we were speaking, and he was like, but what kind of dancers we are if we do not understand this space? And I was like, oh yeah. And it was this sentence that convinced me to go to study, do MA in stage design in general, like a space for performances. Because, yeah, I think body is also an object in the space, part of the environment, and where you place it and how you place it, and it's very important, and yeah. And to get this deeper knowledge, exactly. Not to do it only because of I feel like it, but also maybe to have analytic thought with it. Yeah.
How was it learning in Latvian language?
Yeah.
I guess hard.
No, I mean, it's MA, so it wasn't maybe as crazy. There were like theory teachers were quite good in English, but obviously just because of me, they didn't teach class in English. So I had, always had a meeting with each of them. I knew what the study program is. I would get all the literature in English in English, and then I would, I knew on what topic he's or she is talking, and I would meantime read the information. But no, semiotics was fun, for instance, or philosophy of art was also really fun. In the first 6 months was really, really challenging, yes. But I somehow got in, and I said, but I don't speak Latvian. And then they said like, you Lithuanian, you learn fast. I had no choice, I just had to learn, yeah.
But did you take some classes specially?
I had 3 classes in Latvian language on grammatics with a teacher that spoke Latvian to me, and I didn't yet. It was great. We understood each other. It took 3 classes for me, yes. No, but I learned by hearing, like language. Yeah, it's like music, you listen and empathically try to understand it. Somehow also body language. Yeah. Maybe helps that I am a dancer and I kind of like study body language at the same time. And then, yeah. Well, 2 years later, when I had to defend my diploma, I did it in Latvian. Yes, so.
Learned.
Learned. Had to cry a day before, but did it.
Who doesn't cry before diploma?
Well, before BA, I didn't. I was convinced that it will be fine. But I was younger also,
In BA, did you have to speak something, or it was dance practice exam?
Both.
Both. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All like written part, of course. You can. I don't think that you can get academic diploma without having any sort of academic studies.
Paper.
Or a topic that you would like to analyze.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a full-time choreographer and also dancer, right?
Yes.
How does your routine look like? Do you have routine? And how does it look like?
I'm a freelancer, meaning I do everything. Like literally everything. I write projects, manage projects. Sometimes there are phases that I write more how I dance than I get to dance or get to work. But we work usually like in blocks and periods. So it's a creation time period, it's a block. So like somehow not to scatter on a daily routine that I would have to like sometimes it happens like that I have a 3-hour rehearsal in the day, but on a new creation usually it's full day on. And the same if I go, because I work a bit abroad also, mainly as now more as a choreographer, but mainly as a dancer. So it is also a block periods. We come for 2 weeks. That's the only thing we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes just waking up and going to dance straight away all day, and sometimes sitting and writing projects, and yeah.
yeah, if there is a project application, so basically a whole week you just like only write.
You already mentioned that when you create some work, it takes like long time, 2 3 years. But how usually it's possible to see you performing or your works to be performed? Like how often in a year maybe it happens? Yeah.
It really depends because like we are not working in a one particular theater, so we are not necessarily a repertoire theater. So you can like I perform quite a lot, but in different countries, different cities. In Riga, maybe 4 times a year. like yeah, maybe more. Depends. Really depends on the also succession of projects.
Yeah.
and and on what kind of focus it is, whether it's more this year that year more focused on touring, then I perform more, or is the focus on new creation, because it's also to do both. It's again, it's mind is in too many places at once.
But if you create some artwork, do you repeat it, for example, like after a year or after two, like, or it is like seasonal thing, and then you create something new?
I try not to do that, like not to do one time things, because I think it's extreme, like thinking of the ecology of the mind also, and of burnout or something, or also of the planet. Because every work requires some sort of like scenography, design, and a lot of people are involved. I think it's not waste of time, but it is a shame to create something for one time event. It's like this kind of like butterfly effect, you know. I like to think more sustainable, and I like to create works that can tour and can live longer. If I mean, but that's usually also depends. Like if the work is actual at the time or successful, then you tour more. But when I make it, I always make with in mind that it should stay for longer.
Maybe now you could share a bit about Tuvumi Horos. What is this project about? What does it do, and how it appeared?
Yeah, so Tuvumi is an NGO organization in dance. Yeah, so it's me, my partner, and there are actually mainly producers and graphic designer, like creative like team of the production. It's a production house in a sense, like the one that produces and takes care of the existing works. So exactly the ones that house without a house, that like a dance house without a house, that organizes tours, that premieres, deals with partners, finds new places where to perform, like all this kind of like practicalities of this sustaining. And Horos is our project, which is a festival actually. It's a festival in Aispute, in the regional Latvia. So
Why there?
many reasons why, because I think that contemporary culture also has to travel away from the capital cities. It has to somehow spread more in the regions. Dance is very accessible language because it doesn't have a language, like you can, it's universal at the same time, it's complicated, but it's universal. And then Aispute is because my Christian's kind of family is from Aispute, so we kind of knew it. There is a residency center, which usually used to work with visual arts more, but you can live there, like a whole house where you can live. Then cultural center and a lot of places with dance studios, really good dance studios. So we decided that we want to do a residencies in there and invite our colleagues from also abroad and local to live there and to create for like 2 weeks. And then at the last day of the or towards the end of the residency, we show a creative program, like curatorial program of what they decided to bring. So sometimes there are same artists that resign in there, but they show different work, already existing work. So it's kind of one-day festival. Yeah.
Yeah, when it is usually happening?
Usually, this year it's a pause, but used to happen like end of May, beginning of June.
Is it the only production, I would say, place exactly in contemporary dance, or there are some other also
Oh, a
associations?
lot.
A lot?
Yeah, there is Choreographers Association where we all like as a contemporary dance choreographers, we are like union. Yes. So that is literally association. Yeah. There is Dance Information Center that now started this project of dance house in Valmiera. Now Riga Circus also started to shift towards becoming circus and a dance house, contemporary dance house. There is Company 6, 5th, like there are many of us actually. The field is quite diverse and broad. It's nice, yeah.
But, why you felt like you want to create yours?
Because when you write a project for State Capital Foundation, you have to take care that all the documents are fine, that money flows like goes as it was written. Then you have to write reports. So if, for instance, if it could happen that I give my project, and you have to have this kind of like Biedriba, like NGO, yeah, to give in a project. You cannot give in as a separate individual. So in a sense, you have to have it. So if you give it from a broader organization, you are not sure if other projects gave in their reports in time, and if they didn't give it in time, then your project is not even looked at. So you have no, like it's about the sense of controlling your own flow, and that you know that if someone made a mistake, it's you. Yeah, so.
But then it's also became that you have that residency, yeah, which is like for a new artist's opportunity,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's very important to be in this creative environment that you, as an artist, you also share your experiences, you share your practices, or at least, you know, like even if you don't share a studio time, you cook together and you have a chat and you exchange knowledge and you also make friendships. And then maybe who knows, maybe 5 years later you decide to make a project together. It's you know, it's important to meet and be in this creative environment, so we started to do it. Yeah.
Or the interview, because we met exactly like that, like after 10 years.
Yeah.
We were at the Vidas Day festival, and
Yes.
there was 1 week of workshops, and you teach there also, and exactly we were standing on the kitchen all and speaking, and I just had this flashback how cool it is, like when an artist, you participate in such a thing, and yeah.
What do you know? You know, like 10 years later,
Yeah.
I like go into your field and say hello.
I think I exactly just started doing pole dance when this festival started. I remember that I found ropes there in the sports space where we all were sleeping, and I was like, doing tricks and finding possibilities.
Wow.
And yeah, and now you are also into pole dance.
Yes.
We will go maybe a little bit to the how people see choreographers, dancers from a side, artistic people. Yeah. First part of that is about the money, actually. Like, is it stable work? Is it possible to make living from that? Like, yeah. Can you share a little bit about that side of the work?
It's challenging because it's what do you say? What do you mean stable? It's not like you're a freelancer. So 1 month you get more, sometimes you get less. It's not like you get like a sum salary every month the same, and that you can calculate on that. It's always a little. Yeah, but I myself been lucky in a sense, like in Latvia there are these creative stipendiums, like scholarships, that very little amount of artist gets, and that is like for a year you get this month's salary from country. So I had it last year, and I had 2 year, 3 years ago now. So I had it twice, just like a record. Yeah, yeah. I've been very privileged in that sense, and I've been very privileged that since I graduated, I have never worked at a job in my life than anything related to dance. I don't even teach that much actually. Not because I don't want to, but because I like it's also again another direction. And if I go into something, I really want to do it somehow deep. And so the desire for me it was that I want to create more. So I didn't want to take this opportunity from me in thinking about how to teach a class. But like yeah, it's really project based. So you write a project and you never know, is it going to be accepted, is it not going to be accepted. It's a bit yeah, it's not easy in a sense. It's not really like, it's not a business that you will get rich from. Like it's really not a good, if you think of business model, it's really bad one. If you decide to go, like if I don't know, like if you do more of the commercial dances, let's say, yeah, that you perform in the corporative events or something like this, then maybe yes. I don't know, I have not been in that field, or like dancing TV, I also don't know what that means. I've been a bit like experimental artist. so so I work a bit different. Yeah, but the fact that I've been working with this Norwegian and Belgian companies as dancers, that also like, it's nice to get Norwegian salary. So you can live in Latvia and make your own pieces in a sense. So everyone has to find its own way. If you think of like, I'll just be a choreographer and I'll only make works and then it's a very limited amount of time. I think that you are on the wave, that you get every project, and then it starts to like differentiate. So
It was that you also didn't get financiation for some of the projects, and
oh yeah, it's
how then you made it, or you didn't
you
create
usually
it?
write too many. You write a lot, and by the time you kind of also hope that you're not gonna get everything. And there's also been time that I got everything. I almost died because, of course, you could give back money and say, look, I cannot make it, but then who does that? So you kind of end up also overworked. So it's a kind of really funny environment. It's either you're overworked or you're without a job, or you, even when you're without a job, you're overworked because you try to prepare for the project, writing, and yeah. So no, it's not a healthy environment. Would not recommend.
We love swings, creative people. Hey. I just realized that all the material I watched about you, it's always mostly Ieva Krish together as a creative group duo. And when you are creating this piece, it somehow you even created another profile, and somehow, yeah, we met when you are separate. But for the audience, most usually we see like for 10 years you together, Ieva and Krish, and you both are choreographers, and as I understood, also scenographers also together.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that having creative family, let's say like that?
Creative family? I think I can only sustain myself being in this profession because I have such a big support and understanding of what does it mean to be here, and it's very inspiring. Yeah, to be together in that sense. But it's a first work that I kind of make it outside of this duet. I mean, not really outside. Krish is still stenographer. So, but in a sense of like, you know, like we've been creating this like really kind of conceptual and very minimalistic and very clear, this kind of on the edge of snobism works. You know, like they really thought, they really like, it's a lot of math in it, how the choreography goes, it's a mathematical pattern and stuff like this. And, you know, and then I was thinking like, I've been this artist for so long, and now I started to do something else that I am really excited about, but it's also like, it's another person in me, another artist within me, like kind of like if you think of I don't know, like alter egos or something like this. It's another person living within me, and it's felt like not right to put within the same house or something. That, you know, there are rules how you develop your artistic profile, you know, and so then I would, by making this work, I would have to think about the previous ones and how to fit within that, and I didn't want to do that. And then we kind of decided that has to be an totally alter ego, totally over the top for me to feel free within it. So yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that this is exactly very first work which you're doing on your own. Yeah. But for now, I would ask a bit maybe more about you and Krish as a family, as an artist family. Do you have some rules maybe, or something what you keep, so that having all that hectic freelancers schedule, keeping it all together, or it somehow naturally goes like, yeah, because you also have a kid, and like, yeah, how does it all work together?
I mean, we both are workaholics. So first thing we do when we wake up and drink coffee, we speak of work, what needs to be done. And last thought we have, we also speak of work. So
That unites. Yeah.
that unites. We try not to do it. It's hard. It would be better if we wouldn't do it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's somehow. No, we don't have this kind of particular rituals that would be like he holds our sanity together. Maybe we should. I'm thinking it's a good advice. Maybe I'm analyzing the material.
It also always gives some inspiration when you do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Change. Yeah. It's you know, like this classic question: what is the best position for dance? You know, and every wise teacher says transition.
Yeah.
Transition is the best position for dance.
Okay. Very usually, audience doesn't like, even not audience, but people don't understand contemporary and experimental art. What do you think about it? And do you think about it as an artist creating your works? Yeah.
Yeah, I really dislike when people say it. I do not understand, because I'm like, there was nothing for you to understand. You know, like it's not a book that you read. It's not a theater play that you go and they try to make a storyline, in a sense. There are things that you cannot express in words. Like, for instance, you can say, I love you, but you can never entirely explain how much you love. And dance is exactly about this, how much, you know? And it's something else. You should, like, I think if you go with this mentality of like, I have to get something, then you're missing out of actually what you could feel. Because dance is so much more than just understanding. There is like, I always speak about that there is this logic, you know, like that we live in, and information and facts and everything, but there is also abstract thinking, which is very important in making a kind of like putting patterns together. It's not really logical thinking, or like the emotional intelligence is also an intelligence, and as important as like factual intelligence, let's say. And so dance is literally that thing that you should experience. It's not like when you say, I didn't understand anything. I'm like, but what did you experience? Tell me. And it's also like when I make work, I make it, the work for me is like that. But then I also accept that when the audience come or people come, that they have their own experiences, they have their own interpretations, they have their own life, and things that are actual for them right now. And they, from this kind of like symbolic language, they put together a different narrative if they need this narrative. So when people come to me and say, what was the work about? And I was like, tell me, what was it about for you? Because it was about that, what you felt. All the feelings are there and they're real. So it's not like it annoys me. I just would encourage people to go to dance and experience dance. Because if I would like to say something, I would make a lecture and I would be really good at it. I think. But like if I want to pass on a message, literally a message that, I don't know, I make work about a war or something, then maybe I will include text that it would make sense, because it's important to pass me a narrative, but it's also important to understand that there is a notion and there is a thought and there is a meaning and there is even like a very direct kind of like concept, but it's not necessarily gonna be communicated in the most direct language. It's also like visual art. You go and, like me as like a trained artist, I need to read what the work is about to get the full meaning of what the artist meant. Otherwise, I go and interpret it in my own way, what this colors means, what this, whatever, you know. So, yeah, I think it's about openness. You as audience, when you go to dance, I would, if you cannot get open, then I don't know, have a drink before or something. Yeah, just arrive earlier, meet your friends, go to a bar, have a glass of wine, relax, and then open yourself up.
Okay.
Unless you're alcoholic, then don't do it. But, no.
You just replied to the question I wanted to ask you. What would you advise? Because there are some people who during like daily they're closed in their feelings, because maybe sometimes it's not safe for them. Once it wasn't safe,
Yes.
they closed, and if they will open those feelings, they will face volcanium of different sensations, which maybe they're not possible to face now. That's why they close. But then maybe it's not the time for such an art.
Yeah, but I think it's generally in Latvia, it's a theater culture. It's a spoken language. More text, the better. You know, like, and in other countries are totally different. For instance, it's really a cultural thing, I think, because like if you think of Belgium, dance is the main the main medium in there. Contemporary dance is the main medium, because it's also, you think it's a country that speaks two different languages. Yes, so language is not the thing that unites them. Flemish and French, so dance is a universal language that can be shown. Anyone can see it.
Here also like Latvian, English, Russian, and
Yes,
but yet
and
theater.
Yes. Yet theater.
What does it mean, like theatric culture? Like that it's put in one sentence, like this is about that?
I don't know. Also, it's about like audience habits. Like there are nice houses, you know. It's somewhere to go out, you know. Like it's also like change from your working clothes and home clothes and wear something else. Meet someone, have this shared experience. It's like, and usually people the ones that go to national theater go to national theater. The ones that go to Daila go to Daila, and not necessarily that much audience actually mix in between. There are those theater lovers, but there is also the kind of, it's their hobby, I would say, to do it. And it's nice. Why not? Like, really, why not? It's a lot, yeah. But it's also mainly the theater in here is quite classical, I would say. Like from what I've seen also working abroad, it's not that contemporary. Even the most contemporary plays are a bit like, okay. It. I think audience is also growing within this, like, you know, also maybe there is a culture that values the certain standards like ballet. Yeah, it's wow, this is like a really good discipline. Classical art, classical music.
Something very clear, which
Something
you
very
can
clear
speak
that,
about.
and you know that you're gonna go and you're gonna see that. When you go to contemporary art, you don't know what you wanna get. You don't know, you know. So it's a cat in a bag. It
Yeah.
can be the best experience of your life, or it could be a waste of your time. Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, in a classical theater or classical things, the dramaturgy is kind of like the same. It's not really a surprising. You also know how to behave when you go to opera. You know, it's going to be like you're going to go, you get allocated seats, you look one direction, you don't talk, you don't disturb, you need to go to toilet, well, you wait, you know, for the break, then you go to the buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a drill. And it comforts people, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it comforts to
When
know,
there's a lot-
knowing what's happening, knowing what's, yeah. And you know also that if you don't like it after first part, you can leave. So it's, yeah.
About dramaturgy, I will ask it as a choreographer.
Yes.
Who is now, like, few years ago, I received just like saying that if you cannot put in words, yeah, what you create about, that no one will get it and understand. And I somehow stick to it, yeah, and I was creating like that. But now I feel like I hit some border, and maybe I can say something wider, but yeah, how to make it clear? Should I make it clear? Yeah, there is as an artist scared to not be understood and to experiment more. Do you still think about dramaturgy, or is it some other way you structure still the work so that it's more seen, understood? Yeah. So the
Well,
answer.
there are, yes, always, yes. I mean, instead of a storyline, I think of a concept, like something closer maybe to a visual art or something like this. It's a concept. And I create certain universe that sometimes I wish as an artist to place something in that universe of this concept, and it doesn't fit. Well, then my artist ego has to be thrown out, because I kind of serve for the concept. I serve for the idea, and I let the material tell me. So, but I don't think that you should, with your work, like, go through like a storyline that it's clear, like the lines, what happens. But the notions, they are there. They are to be expressed in a sense. Also, practically, if I cannot put it in words, I will not get a single project, because it's a written paper. So you have to write the working methods, like how do you work on that idea. You have notions, I don't know, maybe those notions are of colors. Yeah, like that you have this like note, like I don't know, brain map I like to do. When I put colors, music, clothing, I don't know, sticker, whatever resonates you of this notion of the work, and try to get it in, like as I try to map it. So it's also graphics, like depends, like But then, like from these graphics, usually you can't say outliner of what is the
connect.
what, and it's clearer also for you, because then if you create about everything, then it's about nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so there are, yeah. And sometimes it's nice, maybe sometimes it just, your concept could be like, because I decided that I'm gonna dance how I feel, you know, and I feel like that, and you map a certain, like I dance like this because I felt like that, you know, and it's like a map of feelings. It doesn't have to be the most universal or the most actual theme of like refugees or something. It's also very actual to make it, but if you are not, what annoys, okay, as an artist, what annoys me the most is when you make whatever you make and then you decide that it's your work needs a theme and you place a random something what this work was meant to be about, and I get very angry. And mainly it's a reason why I don't read the descriptions when I go to dance performances. Because it's yeah. And when I write, I try to be very specific, although I get feedback that it's very technical. I don't know if you read any of the descriptions of the works of
Yeah, about few works like last one, Obliquus, which is
Obliquus,
also
yeah.
and about which we
So-
are going to
Yeah.
speak about
Obliquus
now.
is very technical.
Yeah.
But it's very, it's how the work is gonna be. You should come.
Yeah, I'm planning it in my schedule now. After diving deep in everything, I'm like, okay, it's already a little bit different vision. I also like to come to performances not reading anything, first experiencing, and then if I feel like, I will dive deep. And sometimes, like one of the latest works was theater. But it was called something about musical theater without words, only like sounds. And I was like, it was too much. Like, it was too much crazy. If it is about schizophrenia, then it's perfect. And appeared, yes, it was. And I was like, yeah. So,
Artist did a good job.
yeah, it was
You could get it without reading.
perfectly insane. And when I read, I had this, then yes. Because before that, I was like, isn't it like too much? Yeah.
Yes, so now we are standing by the building that actually is a residency place for Kim, a contemporary art center, visual arts usually. But I have a studio there, and I have to warn you, it's nice in summers. It's nice in a warm weather, but now there is no central heating, so there is only electricity heating. So it's gonna be cold. But when it's not that cold, when even in winters I go to train there, and there is a stenography of my newest piece in there. So we go.
Let's go.
Ready?
Yes. But you now practice there.
Not when it's -10.
Oh. Not welcoming.
Welcome. Welcome. It used to be school in here at one point.
But what was it before school?
Yeah, it was a school, and then this building was standing kind of haunted, and I think Riga City Council, municipality, gave it to Kim. You see uh, yeah, so they tried to take care of this place. During summers, it's really nice because there are exhibitions all over, like the first floor, and there is a backyard, that it's a little bar, and it's nice. Winters are challenging, and the residents are upstairs. So I'm a permanent resident. I have 2 spaces in there. One is more for Tuvumi, for the team to come for office and meetings. And the second one is my own. Belongs to me. Only me. It's my female cave.
Oh, it's not a cave, it's a big, big space.
No. It's a cave.
But is there electricity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some.
Hello.
Oh, hi, what a luck.
Hello.
Hi,
So
Krish.
here.
Okay. We are in a cool place in all kinds of these words. So that I don't call it incorrect, I would ask you to introduce what work is this for and what is this space? Yeah.
Okay, so this space is my training space, where kind of like part of the stenography is standing, where I practice, I suppose. Yes, it's for my newest piece, as you see, with poles.
Yeah.
It's my dreamland in here.
What is the name of this piece? And yeah, I was just researching and I understood something already was performed or showed or yeah. So.
Yeah, so the name of it is Species Shifter. So it was performed already as it was in September during the White Nights in Riga, but it was kind of not like spectacle, but it was more of the installation. So the space was open for 2 days. It was actually in this building, but downstairs. It was in one of the biggest space, and then people could just flow through. And during those 2 days, I had like 3 performances, like a short ones, half an hour long. I thought of pole dance, and then I was like, oh no, it's really long then. But it's short in the stage arts. So it's kind of like this work has a lot of layers. So this pole dance practice is one layer. This kind of stenography is another layer. But then I also work with modular synthesizers, which is a music instrument, and I work with Erika synths. I mean, not necessarily work with them. They consult me and provide me with gear. And so we had a lot of modular synthesizers in the space, 7 of them, that people could come and interact with the sound of the space. So there were theremins, the kind of like sensor for the motion. So you could just like wave around it and it make different noise for the space. So people could play soundtrack also.
So they affected the performance or it was after?
It was during the installation. And for the performance, I collaborate with Leo Novus, the artist. He's also a composer for me, but he is a really good musician that specializes in playing with modular synthesizers.
How appeared the idea, from what it started?
Oh, well, that's a long time ago. Don't know how to trace it. It's very gradual in a sense. Like it wasn't like, oh, I want to do pole dance, so what can I do with pole dance? Pole dance came into the process really late. When the structure kind of appeared, the scenography appeared in mind, and then I was thinking like, also what kind of technique I need to gain for my body to be able to perform, to climb actually. Mainly, I don't really do pole dance in here, in this work, but I need understanding of grips, of climbing, of strength to pull it up. Some of the movements, yes, but it's really kind of like contemporary. I would say it's more of the scenography, but how the idea came to be. I think 3 years ago, one curator approached us and said like it would be really cool if you would collaborate with this modular synthesizers company to do this, and it's analog art. As you know, like analog cameras, there is this old kind of like photographs, like, so modular synthesizers, an kind of analog instrument. It's from 60s. Then we realized that contemporary dance also is born in 60s, kind of like, and we started to think what is analog, what is the opposite of analog is digital, what is like, and then started to think more about this time of digitalization, and I always think what is the relation to the body to it, and then evolution of the body and stuff like this. So I was kind of like came across this thought that we are no longer Homo sapiens, but we are not yet Homo technologicus. So we are transiting a species. We are in a transition, and so shifting a species. So we are like still in between. So that's why this piece is called like that, because there is also a level or layer onto it that involves AI, that I chat with a chatbot meanwhile, which is a love bot actually, that is fed, the language that we speak of, it's fed with the lyrics of pop songs. That is the language that the bot received. So we kind of speak a language of love. Well, I mean, it's all absurd in a sense. Like, yeah, it's fiction. No, there are fiction writers of the. So it's a fiction.
Yes, so it started from that deep sides, but
I just wanted to say, if you make a work for 3 years, it cannot not be deep. There are so many layers. Now, for instance, I have a premiere on the 16th of July in Riga Circus, and I'm so confused now because I have so much information. I think I could write a dissertation of the material of everything. And now it's another challenge, is like how not to put everything in it. Like how to put one or two aspects of the whole research, what you've done, what is the essence of it, what makes most sense for this world, for this concept, and not necessarily what do I want to do as a dancer or artist, or how cool I could just do this movement, but it's just not about that in a sense. So I face another challenge, and it's really serious one, because that's what defines if the work is good or bad. So I'm really like, nervous.
I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, I am excited. I hope I will be excited to talk to you after. Or you're gonna run away after the show.
But did you ever had the moment when you don't like your work exactly after you made it? Or
Yes, I remake it then. That's it. It's rarely that in the premiere I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm like, usually we have like in line things that we already want to change, but you cannot make it for premiere because you cannot retrain your body to do it. So we call it like updates, like for iPhones. Mm-hmm. You need an update, and it comes after premiere quite often. For instance, the Obliquus that we're gonna show on the 22nd of February, in Hansa's Perons, which is really close by. But we are updating right now. We are putting it through the iPhone update of the memory. Usually it is most challenging, yes.
Yeah, to remember the material. Or there is sometimes improvisation in it too, in some works. Oh, you don't open it.
Very moderate then, in the sense, like not materials are set and quite precise. Set in that matter that if you don't execute it right, well, you're a bit in trouble.
Coming back to polls.
Yes, many polls.
The maybe, no, it's not most interesting, but very interesting for me.
Okay.
Yeah, we connected again exactly when I saw you doing pole.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, what's happening there? And when I was researching, I found that in 2013, someone sent you the video about the Jenny Butterfly, how she performs, and you were like, yes, I love, she's amazing. So you were so much long time interested in it, or is just like fun on Facebook?
No, for sure, that was the time when I kind of got to know it as a form also of arts, in a sense. I took then some classes. I was really excited about it.
Even classes.
Yeah, yeah, a few classes I did in Scotland. And so, but then somehow I dropped it. But it was, I think it's as with everything, it stays somewhere at the back of your head. And when this material came, I also like, okay, so coming back a bit to the work, there are poles, you know, like, and this, yeah, the structure is like that, so it's already very inviting for pole dance, but I could choose another technique. I don't know, I could go to climbing the rocks to get the climb muscles ready, you know, or something. But then there is this aspect of this love bot, of the love relation, of this kind of like, and that I kind of try to seduce also a bit this love bot, like, you know, like when you look, when you're longing for acceptance and when you're longing for this relationship, and it somehow, I am the phenomena somehow hit me so much that people marry their chatbots, you know, that it's something within humans that longs to be accepted and longs to have this nonviolent conversations, and maybe what you spoke before, that maybe people are just really disappointed or very closed and afraid to be hurt also by people. So now you still seek for this love, and you seek it within the AI. And there are people like that. So I started to study it as a phenomenon, and that what also invited also this pole dance to come in there. But yeah, back in 2013, yes, then I saw her for the first time, fell in love. But but also when I took my very first class here in Riga,
Now, somewhere.
yeah, like 2 years, not 2 years ago, like 1.5 years ago, I took it a private class. Yes. Oh my God! And I was like so in love. I was so in love with the teacher, and I was like adoring her so much. I was like, oh my God, she's so strong. Yeah, still am.
To create this performance, you started constantly to attend classes. Yeah, how it is, how usually you train, what exactly you train to create your piece.
Okay, so this scenography came only was built in summer. Actually, summer, maybe like towards the beginning of September. Yeah, so late. So that was the only means of me training. I also have another pole, like X-pole in another studio that I trained on, but also like you cannot just YOLO in pole dance. It's so dangerous, like, or you get stuck or something. You need a teacher attendance. And also for me, it was so different from the usual dances that I was doing. You know, in contemporary dance, you usually like kind of like go, like, I don't know, you get a lot of impulse also from your limbs in a sense, and then your body kind of follows. And in here you kind of like lock your arms, and you have to get this from a different position, you know, from a different state that your body is, or it's not that loose. It always has to be like really kind of on the top. I mean, yeah, and you have to know how to work the gravity, meanwhile, how to not let go, and these grips that I was like dreaming after, like, oh my God, first month I was like only dreaming how to grip and analyzing everything in my sleep, because I like, I have like kind of analytic mind towards the movement also, so I kind of process a lot of material while I'm sleeping, and I was so tired all the time because I was only pole dancing, training kind of yeah, but I find that also how what was the question? How much I train?
How usually, yeah, how much?
If I can, then I train 4 times a week. If I cannot, then 2 times a week. If I write a project, I do not train. But yeah, I attend classes, and now since I have this, and this winter is a bit cold, but when it's
The most
not
cold winter.
yes, but when it's not that cold, I also train in here. I climb. I try to find the material. What kind of not the material, but the aesthetical language that I would. Because my aim is not to perform a pole dance. I cannot perform a pole dance. I just started. It would be really bad, like honestly, but. But I try to find, and it's not my escape that I don't do pole dance because I cannot do it. I don't do pole dance because it's not the aesthetics and it's not the essentials of this work. And I try to work very honestly, and I do not like to copy existing techniques. I rather take that technique, process it, and transform it into what the work asks for. So yeah, it's this. So I'm still like finding a language in here.
But you practice mostly tricks or also dance classes?
I do tricks and I do exotic. Exotic I love because it's on the ground, and I'm pretty good on the ground. I've been dancing on the ground for all my life, and I can tell you it's much easier. Like it's easier for me. It's a joy, you know. Like I come, like yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, I haven't done it. Yes, this heels. I remember first time I wore it, and I stood for, and I was like, not gonna happen. And then
Cancel.
and then I stood for like 5 more seconds. I'm like, okay, maybe gonna happen. And now it's happening. So it's also, I was also very scared. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna break my legs. I'm gonna get injured. How I'm gonna work? Yeah. So tricks is I go to pump. In a sense, I'm like, I try to learn the actual climbing technique. Yeah, I do both.
Yeah, about the dance on pole, it's already acrobatics. You
Yes.
can add dance, but first should come inside like strong acrobatics.
Of course, it's like you know you can improvise freely or dance freely only when you know the technique so well, when you know the body you're gonna catch you, when you know the moves. You train moves separately, you polish them, and then you can start to incorporate it into the sequences. I am still impressed. I do not understand how do you breathe?
Are you still like?
Yeah. Like for longer sequences, I'm like, it's like, for instance, when I was training as a dancer in a choreography, we were learning where to breathe, also not to die. And here I'm like, I don't know. I keep on asking Daria, how does she breathe? She thinks I'm joking, but I'm not. Still, I'm like, when and how?
Sometimes.
Yeah. But you know, like, I don't know, if you go to competition, it's like 3.5 minutes or till 4 minutes of the thing. I'm like, you cannot not breathe for 4 minutes. You have to somehow.
Magic. When you create the material for any performance, do you have some stages of creation which are, your way of creation, or every time it's different? Like, do you start from exactly the movements, or first it's like improvisation, sketches, and so? How is that for you?
I think it's different every time. Depends on, sometimes if it is like a pattern that you are going through, then it's more of the vectors and directions, and then you kind of go into a movement. The obliquus is, we started with improvisation and setting it up. This one I still a lot improvise. I'm not able yet to set things, and that worries me also, like, because it's really hard to repeat exactly the same, like in exactly the same spot on a spinning pole. In that, you know, and it's, so here I kind of find it a bit like, oh my God, I have to score it. Like in contemporary dance, you can also choreograph through scores. Have a task of scores that you have to get, for instance, the simplest, you have to get from point A to point B within this time frame. Within doing certain, and then it's scoring on the what kind of movement, the aesthetics, but it's not necessarily set in the right order that leg comes after arm or something like this. So I kind of have a notion that certain parts I'm gonna have to score it in here, and that worries me because I cannot predict. It's another layer of this vulnerability as a performer, because I associate pole dance with superpower. It's really not vulnerability in it. It's wow, you know, like when you train, everything happens, yes, but when you perform or also like what it is in social media, it's kind of like everything's neat, you know, so it's like this like feminist act of power. So I have a feeling in here I'm gonna be a humble dancer. No, I don't know. Like, it's not bad in a sense, and it's not shy. It's just different than I used to work. Yeah.
Mostly in all your works, you participate also as a dancer.
Yes.
Why?
I also want to dance.
Okay.
I want to dance mainly. Secondly, it's also the funding. It is what it is. And if you want to create a performance as a choreographer, then you also have to pay for a dancer. And sometimes the project doesn't have enough money to cover all. So you get like, you choreograph and you perform, so you get kind of all right lump sum at the end of the day. But yeah, sometimes it is, sometimes because I really like to research, and by the time and work not necessarily slow, but research really deeply into the movement. And by the time I would invite a person to come and retake it, it's so hard for them to train. In a sense, they have to really learn the world. But it happened. We involve many other dancers later, or we train into, when the work is ready, then it's easier to learn than to come in into almost finished process. Because then it's set and you somehow accept that that's the reality and you learn already existing thing. Imagine if you would have to learn a poem that would change every day. You know, it's really hard.
Some choreographers work like that. Like,
Yeah, when
do
you
they?
make it, yes, but when you are setting it up, then it's something else, yeah.
Do you have some favorite works from which are created already?
In life, like in world, or in like I need a...
Yeah, you have created many
of my
pieces.
own, or...
You both also created with Krish, and do you have some favorite works?
I think Obliquus now is my favorite.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I think it's good work, actually. Yeah, like in a sense of like if I'm thinking critically, I think it's a good work. I think it has a very particular language of movement. It is at the same time extremely technical and very emotional, which I really appreciate in a sense of that creates some, it is born purely from paradox. So somehow, yeah. And we dance with Krishan. I like to dance with him.
You created your own dance language, as I
Yes,
saw.
for every work we do that. It's, yeah, for sure. For every work. Every work is a different technique. You have to train differently to perform that piece. Like train as meaning as like also prepare for performing. It's not like this generic that I'm gonna just get ready. In a sense, there are works that we train with kettlebells more. There are works that you need more balance. You train different for different work. So yeah, and there is another work that you purely basically running a code, time code. Obliquous is also a time code. It's the dramaturgy is written in Excel. So it's very precise. Very precise.
Again, I will say the same. I'm excited to see it. You have been also to the competition Fusion. You
Yes.
watched it.
Yes.
And after 1.5 years in pole dance, what could you say about pole dance? What maybe, as a choreographer, what points of growth maybe we have? And what is already very good?
Very good is somehow power. In a sense, I'm like, oh, this is circus that I'm watching. Actually, it's really, and I was impressed by it. Yes, in a sense of the strengths, and also when I know that it's, yeah, there are teachers, but some of them are ordinary women, you know, and I'm like, wow, you get to this level when you're not professional, you know. Dedication really admires me, that I see that people are really dedicated, that that's their life, and that is their joy in life. I really like enjoying people. When I see that people enjoy dancing, or I know that it's important for them, so that's very beautiful. Now the second part of the question.
Yes, cheesy one.
Okay, like, and once again, the beauty of it, that it's like, what to say, normal women, normal people, like, so in art making, it's not so simple in a sense, like, I don't know, the composition. I think the overall problem of every show is a composition of this kind of like need of a banging music, everything epic, this epic notion of being epic, in a sense, that there is no place for being present as a human. There's, and yeah, in a choreography, like I think this kind of like needing also to tell a story sometimes, which is like becomes this pantomime happening, which it's not particular. Maybe someone likes it. It's not particular my cup of tea. I don't like people act that they dance. I like people dance, in a sense. So I think it's the overall competition and. Yeah, it's also the fact that you try to put all the diamonds in 3 minutes, which is also understanding that, you know, like when you're going to a DJ set, it's every DJ puts a really good dip in it. That it has to fall so you would rise, in a sense. So so I think it's this also notion of the intensity that sometimes you can a bit hold back and be a bit more humble. You don't have to kind of like trick or impress on every single movement, that every movement has to be impressive. You know, like if I backflip for 3 minutes, you already seen this backflip. It's a first one that it's like, oh, and then you understand this is a new reality and this is your language, and it's like, okay, you backflip. So yeah, I think it's just composition and maybe also this need to impress, because it's competition.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
so like
99% will go there with backflips and you
Yeah,
are
which
like,
is necessary. I'm not saying that it's not necessary. I'm just saying that the tension and timings could moderate. Also, musicality, you can interpret music in more different ways than only on lyrics. Uh,
yeah.
You know, so you can find in every somehow structure what would you like to do. Like if I would, I think when I enter pole dance competitions, which is going to be 10 years later or something, in a seniors group, I would, for instance, make a piece that I concentrate only on spirals. And my main concept of this work is going to be spirals and what kind of spirals I can do there back and forth. And it's what is uniting this thing, what is uniting the choreography, what kind of concept unites the choreography instead of epic. Because you watch, like in the competition, everything is epic, so this epic becomes like buckwheat. You know, like it's just, yeah, epic.
How do you think would you win a prize with concept of spirals, for example, if you improve it?
If I would be good in my technique, I would win. Yeah. No, it's also like how do you make it, and if you're good in your technique again. I don't know. Let's see. 10 years later, I'll go to fusion. I decided at my first pole dance competition, if I ever enter, it's going to be fusion.
Ola,
Ola.
we are waiting 10 years to continue, okay? To see Ieva there.
I'm going to train with her today, so if she watches it, she will tell me to go earlier.
She's like, you're going next year when it is
Yeah,
5 years
signing up.
anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Signing up. Maybe I can do next year in beginners.
Oh.
There are many entry points, which is really nice. You can be beginner, it's great.
You already a little bit said about like, yeah, what is maybe lacking or what would you add? Maybe if we give advice to performers, yes, on pole dance, sometimes they are like people with the sports or dance background, but very usually there are people who have it just as a hobby, yes, so they should know what to search for from the outside world, yeah, to improve their performances. Like, if they take away all these epic things, what stays?
No, you don't need to take all the epic things. Epic things has to stay as some epic moments. It cannot be 3 minutes of epic, I think. It has to be epic moments. That's what makes it epic, a moment. Imagine watching a movie that it's only epic. It's very overwhelming in a sense. No, but I think it's you cannot. It's not a universal language in a sense. You cannot say that do this and you will be great. Every person is good at something else. Every person is special in something else, and I think it's I don't know. It's the interest that they have to find in it, their self and their own vision. I would say not to necessarily to not. I'm not saying that people are copying. No, I'm saying that people like there is a certain aesthetics that you think that you have to do it in this particular aesthetics. And so I am thinking that maybe sometimes you can challenge this concept, and it's not necessarily that you have to tell a story, even though maybe you want to, then do it. And if you don't, then really make a good dance. You know, then make dance that you enjoy doing, make dance that challenges you, that you learn something new, that you were not so good at, and now you are. You know, these competitions are there also for growing, so you train. It's a very good motivation how people train, you know, for marathons. Some people could just I don't know, decide like training to run, and then just run a marathon in your own time. But it's not such a big satisfaction as actually entering a marathon and doing it all together. So it's also like finding inspiration from other people, but always thinking of what is in there for me and what me as a dance artist at the time would like to be good at and would like to learn. Yeah.
At this point, I want to ask also, are all performances about you? Like you now said, like find some of your interest. Is it possible, to create not about yourself, but about
Yes.
something average?
I think only Oblicus is about me, in a sense that from works, you find yourself in that work. It's not necessarily about me and my life experience, me as like, I don't know, wife, mother, accountant or something like this. It's not necessarily about that. It's about finding yourself in it and your own interest within it. Why do you do it? And why is it important for you to do it in that matter? Yeah, I don't know, like House of Labris is totally depersonalized. I have a different interest why I do it, for instance. Yeah, but I think I lost the question now.
Is every work like about you, artwork?
No,
Is it possible to do it
again,
not about you?
Yeah, no, but when I make work, I expect that work to change me. So maybe that's why it also takes so long to premiere, because I don't feel changed enough to perform it. I make works to learn something new, to learn something about myself, about the artwork, about the technique, about many other things, about the world, about philosophy or whatever that is. I expect the work to change me. Yeah. I think this work changed me utterly, changed my lifestyle, dressing style sometimes. Yeah, preference of shoes. And I don't know, I find it, well, I train only at this one particular club, so I didn't try anything other, but I find this environment amazing. In the sense, like, I've been dancing for whole of my life, and I've been in this kind of like, it's a very competitive environment, even in classes. When you train as a company, then who gets the roles, who gets to dance this, or sometimes, when choreographers, you make work through improvising, so you set a certain thing, and then the choreographer decides that someone else dances what you made, like all this kind of like, it's inner heaviness. I mean, here, I just love it. I don't feel competitive when I go to the studio. I really want everyone to make it. And we cheer each other. When women know that I do it for the first time, they stop and they were like, like, you can make it, you can do it, and they were like, no, get the knee up there, hook it, keep it. The other arm, and they really want me to succeed, and I really enjoy it, and I feel like since I started this pole dance, I feel the most feminist I ever been in my life, even though it's like, this connotations of pole dance, of like seducing or whatever, that it's for male gaze or something, and it is not in our case.
It can be so different.
It could be so different, so I feel it's my feminist practice, and I meet different women in different age that I would not meet in my artist life normally, and I really enjoy it. And some of women came to my performances now to see it, and and somehow I feel blessed to be around them. I really like them all. And my teachers, I am in love with them, literally have a crush on them. Cannot. Sometimes they do it and I forget, I forget that I'm supposed to learn it. And I'm like, wow. Like, oh my God, you're perfect.
And like, oh, I had to analyze. Oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, can you do it again, actually?
That's why we always ask, like, can you do it again, please? We got switched
like,
off.
Yeah, like Daria or Oля. I'm like,
What is important for you in dance, in choreographing? What you think about when you create or when you watch performances?
Honesty. Honesty. In a performer, honesty in maker, honesty in a sense of, maybe it was a good material, it looks amazing, but it doesn't fit here, and you still put it in, and it's not honest. In a sense of being able to notice what the work needs and put the work in front of your artistic ambition, I would say, yeah.
Why it is that important? What does it change in the work?
Then you create a work that creates its own universe and doesn't break the rule or some sort of pattern, like all of a sudden imagine like we live in the world, it goes like this and then gravity disappears, like this. And sometimes it's a tool, to change things up, to fuck things up if necessary in the work, but then it has to be used consciously as a tool. So I think in general, you just have to analyze what you're making and see whether it actually was necessary, how does it reflect, how it's viewed. Sometimes, I'm like to say, it doesn't matter what you wanted to say, matters what you said. So it's also with the work, it doesn't matter how you wanted it to be and stuff, but what actually is the work is the most important, because that's how also audience is viewing. And if you don't care of the audience, then it's not important for you to make a work, I suppose. Why don't someone waste their time going there or spend money or energy or time if you don't care about them? So if you want this smooth journey for the audience, then you have to think about them also.
Yeah, maybe the last words to the audience.
To the audience?
Yeah.
Your audience?
It will be, I think, both your and my audience, and pole dancers and the choreographers, maybe the audience also.
I invite people to see art. I invite people not to think about dance in a categories of understood or not understood. Invite them to think, what did I feel? What did it make me think of? How do I continue from now? Was it important for me or was it not? But in general, and also pole dancers, go to see other dance because it enriches you also. It enriches your view, it enriches your aesthetics, you can get inspired and become this, I don't know, like develop your own unique language in a pole, or not even like still leaving it as a pole. I think you can get a lot of inspiration, especially on the floor work, when you have to move from pole to pole. I noticed in fusion it was challenging for people. I'm like, whoa, you're so good on the pole, and then you have to cross the stage, and it's like, oh, hard for you, and like what I would think, oh, it's the easiest part, you just do this and that, and flip, and then that. And yes, so I think it... I see different styles, try different styles, and support your community.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, cozy and cool. Yes, expo.
I can also move it up there when I need a space, so that's why it's not screwed.